Mosquito bite while gardening.
Mosquitoes spread West Nile virus and many other diseases, and they can breed in standing water around your home. Protect your family from pests. Get the facts at pestworld.org.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Hodge. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, Governor Whitmer lays out the details for the state budget for the fiscal year of 2026. And we're live in Houghton as Michigan Tech University's Winter Carnival kicks off today. We're talking with one of the fraternities taking part in the all-nighter statue building. That your 19 News at 6 starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 6.
Checking out the planner for Marquette tonight. Temperatures holding even rising a touch here as some snow develops mainly after midnight, and it could cause some slippery roads, snow-covered roads for morning commuters tomorrow morning. Winds picking up a little bit. Temperatures near the lower 20s by daybreak, and that snow, not lake effect, it's a larger scale snow that will be covering pretty much the whole Upper Peninsula as we head on through, especially times after midnight. Rest of the forecast later in the show. Kevin?
Tom, thank you. Michigan officials have introduced an $83 billion state budget proposal. Michigan's budget directors presented the first draft of the 2026 budget to the Legislature Appropriations Committee this morning. Our Michigan Capitol correspondent Sophia Murphy has a rundown of what items the governor is prioritizing for the next fiscal year.
The first proposal for Michigan's 2026 fiscal year budget has been rolled out by the state budget office. It's another record-breaking proposal, totaling $83.5 billion.
I look forward to working with each and every one of you in the weeks and months ahead to finalize a budget by July 1st that will benefit every Michigander.
Michigan's budget director says they're focused on lowering costs by doubling down on existing programs rather than introducing new ones. But with unsure federal funding, officials are concerned the budget will need to be redone completely.
These federal dollars are our tax dollars.
41% of the 2026 budget is federal funding. $34.8 billion in limbo that usually funds childcare, food assistance, and medical insurance.
The notion that we would completely wean ourselves away from federal investments would also mean stepping away from things that people rely on.
Despite the budget totaling $83 billion, a new road funding plan was excluded from the proposal. The legislature failed to pass its own plan before the end of last year. Now Whitmer is expected to roll out hers next week.
We've heard from many stakeholders that the number that we need to invest in roads is in the billions, and so having that number fit into the current proposal we just heard, the math doesn't math.
With no road funding and federal aid in question, the lawmakers say there's a lot of work ahead of them in the coming months to create multiple plans and be prepared for any situation. Both chambers now have until the end of September to complete the final bills that will fund the state starting October 1st. From Michigan's capital, Sophia Murphy, WZMQ 19 News.
Looking around the UP, Michigan Tech's Winter Carnival is here. Organized by Blue Key National Honor Society since 1934, there's a lot of activities planned. The all-nighter statue building has already begun. Joining us live from Houghton is our own John Truitt. John, how's it going over there?
Hi, Kevin. It's going great. I'm here with the Lambda Chi Alpha group, who is working tirelessly behind me. They're going to get ready for an overnight construction session. All the participants go all night long. They started at 4 p.m. and they will go well past sunrise, and then the judging takes place. Joining me right now is Porter Youngman from Lambda Chi Alpha. Hi, Porter. What goes into such an endeavor like this?
So this is a month-long statue. What it usually starts off near the start of January, and we take all these forms made out of wood and just fill them up with snow, and then let it freeze. And after, towards like the end of the month, we start taking down all the forms, and start carving it up, getting it into like good shape, and now the final night tonight, doing all the final details, make it look what we want it to be.
How many guys you got working on this project?
We have about 30 active members, or a little higher than that actually. I think like 35. Everyone is contributing. just having them all out here. You know, I have like myself, I've done 32 hours of work into this. Some people, you know, 0, 2, 3, you know.
Well, that's quite an effort, and I hope you guys stay warm and not too tired. Kevin, that'll do it from Michigan Tech's Winter Carnival. Send it back to you in the studio.
John, thanks very much. Looking forward to seeing how it turns out. Your first warning weather forecast is coming up after the break. Plus, we're live in Washington, D.C. with the latest on President Trump's efforts to reduce the size of government. And later, we'll hear how the president is considering dismantling the Department of Education and why some believe it would be catastrophic. We'll be right back after this.
How about we play a quick game of Two Truths and a Lie with Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage?
Exciting, isn't it?
Georgie and Mandy is the #1 comedy on television.
I'm a fan.
Critics call it a hoot.
Oh, I like that.
You'll laugh an average of 97 times an episode. All right, technically, we don't know the precise number.
Don't think of it as a lie. It's more of a yarn, tall tale, you know, make-em-ups.
Come laugh at a new Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage. CBS Thursday and streaming on Paramount+.
Optimize your home with Maytag and Whirlpool appliances from Kirkish Furniture in Houghton. Maytag and Whirlpool offer best-in-class warranties on durable, state-of-the-art appliances, perfect for your laundry room or kitchen. Available in stock or online, plus free delivery and 0% financing.
John's Auto is quickly becoming everybody's favorite place to get their car fixed. John's Auto is quickly becoming everybody's favorite place to fix their car. Was that right? For a better service experience, come to John's Auto Market. Why do I keep forgetting that word? Experience. Okay, go. 3, 2. For a better service experience, come to John's Auto Market.
And don't forget,
If you are suffering from mesothelioma, lung cancer, or pulmonary fibrosis, you may be entitled to compensation, even if you smoked. Call Detroit-based Goldberg, Persky & White, working lawyers for working people for more than 35 years.
Tonight's weather is brought to you by Shunk Furniture.
It's Shunk's big winter sale. It's that time of year when you spend more time on your sofa, more time on your recliner, and more time in bed. During Shunk's big winter sale, you'll save on the furniture you need. There's big discounts on all Flex Steel furniture, like this leather Flex Steel Power Reclining Groups, 55% off. And there's big savings on Lazy Boy recliners, over 35 different models to choose from, and they're all on sale. They start at just $449. Shop Shunk's big winter sale at both locations for big discounts. Shop Shunk's Marquette today.
Now, WZMQ TV19 First Warning Weather with meteorologist Tom DeVecchio.
Let's check out the headlines here for the Marquette region and the Upper Peninsula. Looks good this evening, but after midnight we'll see some snow develop, and that snow is going to continue into Thursday morning. Bottom line, just watch for slippery roads, snow-covered roads. Maybe plan to leave a little bit earlier for your morning commutes, as a couple of inches of snow at least by Thursday morning. But the cold temperatures, they're going to stay cold right on through next Tuesday. In fact, while after holding the 20s for much of this week, they'll probably fall into the teens by the early part of next week. So no real warm-up expected in the immediate future. Wind shifting to the southwest as we head on toward the day Thursday. This is the actual front. So by late morning, the front moves on by. Winds come out of the southwest. Temperatures will start to fall, probably back into the teens with this wind change. And you can see strong winds as well, gusting up to 20 to 30 miles an hour. And that'll put our wind chills down probably close to 0 by the end of the day Thursday. So get ready for some colder air and probably some lake effect kicking in. Here's the main batch of snow. It comes in around midnight, covering most of the area. And you see some steady or even heavy hits now and then. That trend continues into mid-morning tomorrow, starts to break up. But then as the winds shift toward the west-northwest, see some lake effect kicking in for Thursday night. And that trend will probably end by Friday. But we could see, again, you can see with those snow bands gradually diminishing toward Friday morning. Snowfall amounts from midnight tonight until Thursday around midday. You can see generally 1 to locally up to 3 inches of snow. So no horrendous amounts, but enough to make things very slippery for your morning drives and the morning times for tomorrow. So for tonight, across the Upper Peninsula, solid area of snow. Temperatures will be rising a bit into the lower, maybe even mid-20s by daybreak. So the snow may be a bit on the wetter side. I wouldn't call it wet, slushy snow, but the wetter side, which tends to make it even more slippery. That's why we're kind of concerned about the travels tomorrow. Now, these are morning highs, so you can see mid to upper 20s, but they'll probably fall back into the teens by the end of the day as that front goes on by, with some lake effect for Thursday night. But gone by Friday morning. We'll keep Friday partly sunny and cool. Next weather system brings in some snow showers for Saturday, while Sunday, partly sunny. We'll keep the colder air, as you can see. Looks like it won't get out of the teens for the next several days of early next week.
Tom, thank you. This week, the Trump administration continues its efforts to reduce the size, scope of the federal government, but Democrats are sounding the alarm about impacts on the federal workforce and on critical programs like Social Security. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Brendan Scanlon is live at the White House with the latest on administration's efforts and reaction from the other side. Brendan, good evening.
Hey there, Kevin. Good evening. That's right. Well, the buyout deadline for President Trump's federal civilian employee buyout, that deadline is tomorrow, Thursday. Now, that buyout paired with a hiring freeze for federal employees within the executive branch is concerning to many congressional Democrats who are warning about the potential impacts of the buyout and the freeze and that workforce shortage on key government programs like Medicare and Social Security. As promised, the Trump administration taking drastic measures to reduce the size and scope of the federal government.
President Trump was elected with a mandate from the American people to make this government more efficient.
Of the 2 million federal employees, so far about 1%, or roughly 20,000, have taken President Trump's buyout offer ahead of Thursday's deadline. White House officials expect that number to grow closer to its goal between 5 and 10%. As more federal employees call it quits, more Democrats are sounding the alarm about a smaller federal workforce, including the impacts of the president's hiring freeze for workers throughout the executive branch. Last year, the Social Security Administration's workforce hit a 27-year low. Many veteran health facilities are also stretched thin.
President Trump's federal hiring freeze will exacerbate these staffing problems, hurt seniors, hurt people with disabilities, and harm veterans.
According to the White House, nothing in the hiring freeze shall adversely impact the provision of Social Security, Medicare, or veterans benefits. In addition, the director of the Office of Personnel Management may grant exemptions from this freeze where those exemptions are otherwise necessary. But New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand says the hiring freeze will harm the millions in her state who rely on Social Security, Medicare, and VA benefits.
The hiring freeze makes things worse at those agencies. It risks increasing application processing times, wait times for appointments, and hold times for the phone calls, which would effectively prevent seniors, veterans, and people with disabilities from getting their benefits and the health care they need to live.
And Kevin, I was at the White House press briefing this afternoon where the White House press secretary touched on government efficiency as well as the buyout, this government spending in general. She referenced, as the administration has many a times, the fact that President Trump has a mandate, they say, from the American people following the election in November. And part of that mandate is to do exactly what they campaigned on, including government efficiency and reducing the size and scope of the federal government. Reporting live at the White House for WZMQ 19 News, I'm Brendan Scanlon. Kevin, back to you.
Brendan, thank you very much. Coming up next on Insights, we're joined by the city manager of Negaunee to talk about what to expect with the Haiki-Lunta Winter Festival kicking off this week. That conversation's in 2 minutes.
Better begins with the way we see each other. Better begins with the way we treat each other. Better begins with the way we care for each other. Better begins at Aspirus Health, bringing out the better in all of us.
Give your home a fresh new look with our energy-efficient windows and stylish doors. And here's a deal you won't want to miss. For a limited time, when you buy 3 windows or doors, you'll get 1 free. That's right, buy 3, get 1 free. Don't wait. This offer ends February 28th. Call today and start transforming your home with the Window Store. Quality windows, doors, and unbeatable savings. Only at the Window Store.
Icy hot. Ice works fast. Heat makes it last. Feel the power of contrast therapy, so you can rise from pain. Icy hot.
These hands are working hands. My hands are the most important tools I have. You need to take care of them. That's where O'Keeffe's comes in.
It's America's #1 selling hand cream for guaranteed relief.
If it works for these hands, it'll work for yours.
Also available in O'Keeffe's Lip Repair.
The UP loves to be outdoors. Running, fishing, hiking, biking. If it's happening outside, you want to be a part of it. And this little baby is what you need to be ready. It's local and 100% free, 24/7. WZMQ 19's news app can show you the best times to be out, what to wear, how to stay safe, whether to bring along the kids. It's your problem-solving power tool. The WZMQ 19 app, now playing on a phone near you. You're watching WZMQ 19 News, live and local, with Kevin Hodge.
Welcome back, everyone. An annual community festival returns to Negaunee this weekend. That's all about celebrating winter. It's the Hikilunta Festival beginning Friday night. Joining us is Negaunee City Manager Nate Heffron. Nate, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm glad we could finally do this together. I know you've done it with Sarah before, but now I got you today. So tell me about the origins of the Hikilunta Festival.
Yeah, so from what I understand it to be, we were just talking about some stuff going on in Houghton. Back in the 70s or so, they were hoping for some snow, but it wasn't. So a radio station came up with a song, played it, and then it kept snowing, and it wouldn't stop snowing. So the people, they kind of got blamed for that. So they created the Hikilunta through there. So there's more to it, but we got more to discuss on this weekend's upcoming festival.
For sure, absolutely. So break it down. What are we going to be expecting to be taking place?
Yeah, so we partnered with Myers State Games, as you're well aware. We'll be having opening ceremonies with them. Then we will be having our Iron Town Rail Jam combined tournament with Myers State Games, which is kind of like the big event that's happening for the weekend. Really cool. If you don't know what a rail jam is, we built this giant snow hill. We put some obstacles in it, and these kids go down on it. Not kids, but teenagers on skis and on snowboards. They do these tricks, and then they have a chance to win some money.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So that leads us into Saturday. Got all kinds of events going on. It's really a family day, so we do have a family event that's occurring right around 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock. So you can go to forgenegaunee.com or Negaunee DDA to find out more specific information about those events. But at that event from 3 to 6, we'll be having miniature horse rides, a s'mores party, a sledding party, and live music.
Excellent. So how efficient would you say the Hikilunta is with bringing everyone together?
It's pretty good. I mean, we keep growing every year. More events keep being added on. We just added on some hockey, some other food events, more food vendors. We got the fireworks, of course, on Saturday evening as well, which a lot of people love seeing those. So lots of stuff to happen. Saturday, I should also mention, if you like ice fishing, the South Shore Fishing Association has an ice fishing tournament going on. With lots of fun out there. They have a ton of fishermen that show up to go ice fishing. Hopefully you catch fish and not ice. It gets kind of cold. I'm not good at catching those fish, but others are. And then Sunday closes out with a Freeze Your Fanny bike race, a fat tire bike race, and some other events happening closing out the Hikilunta weekend.
Wow, so many activities. So just how much work goes into putting this all together, Nate?
Well, the DDA does a good job of putting together probably about 40% of the activities, and a bunch of other folks kind of pile on top, and we're grateful for those different organizations and groups that bring different perspectives of winter sports and outdoor activities to Negaunee, and it's just a fun activity, fun time for everybody over the weekend.
Excellent. All right, Nate. Is there anything else you think people should be aware of before it begins?
Just show up early. Parking could be difficult at times. It is a very popular event. Again, if you're interested to find out more information, go to forgenagani.com or to the Nagani DDA Facebook site.
All right, great. Nate, thank you so much for coming on. Appreciate it.
No problem.
And still to come on your 19 News, protesters take to the state capitol objecting to the actions being taken by the Trump administration. A smaller group also took to Marquette to do the same. And later, a Bay College student is receiving statewide recognition, winning first place in a writing contest. We'll hear from her on her writing style. But first, here's your Upers United Volunteer Opportunity of the Day. Alger Marquette Community Action is looking for kitchen aids that can help prepare meals to be delivered to those in need. Volunteers should be above 18 years old. To sign up to be a volunteer or check out other opportunities, just head to upersunited.com.
Tonight, a CBS News investigation. Sonia Massey was shot dead in her kitchen by a sheriff's deputy last year. At the time, it was described as an isolated incident.
But we found dozens of allegations of misconduct involving cops and correction officers in Sangamon County, Illinois. What's being done about it? That's our Eye on America on the CBS Evening News.
The new Hollywood Squares is a hit.
This is our moment.
That's so funny, it's scary. And some of Hollywood's funniest stars are having a blast.
I'm a little high up here. This is kind of like the towering inferno. I feel like Faye Dunaway. The set is burning!
Paul, how you doing?
I mean, I'm doing great. I'm under RuPaul. I'm above Julie Bowen. It's like a sexual fantasy I've always wanted.
A new Hollywood Squares, CBS tonight, 8/7 Central, and streaming on Paramount Plus.
Buckle's Party Store. It's where the party starts in Calumet with an awesome beer selection featuring domestic, foreign, and craft brewed beer, a great selection of wine, just about any kind of liquor you want, and a great range of tobacco products. Buckle's Party Store in Calumet. It's where the party starts for everyone.
Here's your WZMQ CBS. This is Home Community Calendar. Join us as we celebrate one of the Upper Peninsula's greatest traditions. The UP 200 dog sled race is almost here, and 19 News is your front row seat to all the action, with big coverage coming your way this February. Stay with 19 News. It's time to Ready, Set, Mush.
What's bothering Archie?
Politics.
What the Supreme Court says ain't got nothing to do with the law.
Zucchini.
What do you call this?
Zucchini.
Looks like a cooked pickle.
How to raise children.
Get out of here!
Sexual freedom.
What kind of a problem have they got?
It's sexual.
Sheesh.
Door cat.
Goldfish.
Come on now, I draw the line on goldfish.
See what's bothering Archie.
All in the Family. Sundays from 8 to 10 on WZMQ Me TV.
Welcome back, everyone. President Trump is still considering dismantling the Department of Education. The press secretary says no final action has been made yet, but the National Education Association warns getting rid of this department could hurt students. The Education Department is like the funding arm for public education. Most of the schools are funded through the states, but this department helps states, local communities, and school districts allocate federal funds. The president has looked into ways to slash government spending, but the NEA president claims getting rid of the department could drain resources from the most vulnerable, skyrocket class sizes, make higher education more expensive, strip special ed service, and gut student civil rights protections. They worry there could be a potential loss of teaching positions, especially in areas where there are low-income communities. Congressional members say it would be up to Congress, not the White House, to abolish this department. Protesters are gathering across the country today to speak out against the actions of the Trump administration. In Lansing, hundreds gathered on the Capitol lawn, giving speeches and sharing the impacts already being felt in Michigan from deportations and the loss of federal funding. The 50 Protest, 50 States One Day movement was organized to reject the Project 2025 agenda. The rally brought out lawmakers and nonprofit workers who encouraged the crowd.
focused and focus as you are today, because we are going to need each other to get through these next 4 years. We cannot get complacent, and we cannot allow this to become normalized. We cannot.
The city of Marquette also saw protesting downtown today on the corner of Washington and 3rd Street. Protesters gathered in front of the post office, chanting and holding signs to express their disapproval.
Living in the UP, we're a little far away from Lansing, but we are standing up and showing up essentially in any way that we can.
The protest lasted a few hours with around 30 supporters in attendance. A Bay College student has received statewide recognition for her writing. Our Escanaba Bureau reporter Lily Simmons spoke with her about her piece and what it means to those who read it.
I've been writing since I was very, very young. I use it to vent. I use it to kind of work through stuff. I use it when I'm bored. I'm pretty much always writing.
Senior Ayla Polfus earned the top spot in the fiction category of Bay's 2024 local writing contest with a piece called To See.
I kind of wrote it when I wasn't in a good place at all. It mainly talks about mental health. Everybody who's read it has had a different interpretation, which is kind of cool.
Then To See was chosen as the first place winner of the Michigan Liberal Arts Network for Development Creative Writing Contest.
It obviously means I did a good job, but having people read it and kind of go, yeah, this is good. It is a nice experience to be recognized like that.
Polfus drew from a personal experience to create a powerful metaphor.
I lived on the lake for a good portion of my childhood, and it talks about poking holes in the big, heavy-duty, thick plastic sheeting that people put over the windows for the winter. I remember a few times growing up poking holes in that, and it just kind of talks about looking out and bringing in the cold.
At Bay, Polfus is studying social work with aspirations of earning a doctorate degree in the future and helping people as they work through grief and trauma. Her understanding and passion for emotional and mental health are evident in To See, and she hopes everyone who reads it finds what they need.
The way I interpret it was mental health and going through medications, and more medications. And I only finally just recently found the one that works for me. That's the struggle that I put in there. But the biggest takeaway for my work is just kind of interpreting it into their own thing.
Lily Simmons, WZMQ 19 News, Escanaba.
Tom DeVecchio tells us more about our nighttime temperatures and a final look at weather after the break. We'll be right back after this.
What happens when the world's best journalists come together?
This was an entire building. It will take years to rebuild.
We're from CBS News, American television.
You get the all-new CBS Evening News every weeknight.
WZMQ 19 seeks a talented and dynamic multimedia account executive who thrives in a fast-paced working environment. Passionate, motivated, goal-oriented individuals should apply. Responsibilities include identifying the needs of local businesses, developing strong relationships, selling advertising on our TV, digital, and CTV platforms. Email your resume and cover letter to advertising@WZMQ19.com today.
If you are suffering from mesothelioma, lung cancer, or pulmonary fibrosis, you may be entitled to compensation, even if you smoked. Call Detroit-based Goldberg, Persky & White, working lawyers for working people for more than 35 years.
Yes. Oh, hi. I suppose you're wondering what an A-list celebrity like me is doing in a place like this. You must know, I'm saving the world. Oh, hi, Beth. Yep, saving the world again. Did you know that 40% of all the food produced in the United States is thrown away? That means everything that went into that food, the pesticides, the water, the land, was all for nothing. Just look at this perfectly good food thrown in the trash. The pizza with extra Cheerios, these goldfish and Band-Aid tacos. And just look at this perfect trash burger. This pasta dog looks delicious.
You don't have to dumpster dive like Ed Begley Jr. to save the planet. Fight food waste by shopping smart and using what you buy before it gets trashed.
That's way better. Ooh, arugula.
Do your part and find out other world-saving tips at betterthaned.org.
Snow will develop after midnight tonight and could accumulate a couple of inches by daybreak. Temperatures will rise into the low 20s and top out in the mid-20s for tomorrow morning. Then they will start to drop as we head into the afternoon and could see some up to 3 inches of snow by midday Thursday. No, not a ton, but it will make the roads slick. Partly sunny and cold on Friday, and we're going to keep those cold temperatures through the weekend and especially into the early part of next week. Kevin, back to you.
Tom, thanks again. That's all we have for right now, everyone, but more headlines coming your way tonight at 11:10 Central. We'll see you then.